Welcome to the Militia gaming community. I'm Trigger, and today I'm comparing the 370Z Nismo edition versus the Heritage edition. Let's go! Real quick before I get into the video, I just want to mention I'm building a 2004 Acura RSX Type S on my second YouTube channel. If you like real car builds in real life, go over to that channel. Some of that content might be interesting to you, and yeah, give it a watch and subscribe. All right, let's get into the video. So these cars are so close in their builds, I decided to put them all in one video. This is going to be a little bit different than my normal wrong build series. I'm not actually going to give you build cards for these, but all of the builds for these cars will be in my spreadsheet. The link to that is in the description. So to compare these cars, I tested them like I would normally do in the wrong build series, and then I simply compared their numbers. To keep the video at a reasonable time, I want to talk about the main differences between these two in each of the race disciplines, and then I will give you my decision as to which car is actually better. All right, for track racing and night races as well, just all racing in general, the Nismo performed better than the Heritage by about 1 second per race. Not 1 second per lap, but per race. That means on average, it's 0.3 of a second faster every single lap. Now 0.3 is not a whole lot. In fact, that absolutely could be compensated for by better driving skills. Like if you and a friend race these two cars and you are the better driver, but you were driving the slower Heritage edition, I think you could easily beat your friend with your skill instead of the car's muscle. That's how close these cars actually are. But what's the reason for this? Why is the Nismo a tiny bit faster? Well, it's pretty simple. The Nismo has a slightly better turning radius, which makes it snap better when drifting a corner. This allows players to enter corners faster and therefore leave corners faster. Again, the margin of victory is not very big, but it is there and it is noticeable when you drive these cars back to back. So if you're purely thinking about these cars as race cars, use the Nismo for sure. Now, as far as their times, they didn't really run very fast times. I tested them on Arian and Sonic, and the Nismo goes for 303.9 on Arian and 242.6 on Sonic. The Heritage is slightly slower at 305 on Arian and 243.7 on Sonic. So these cars, like I said, are not that fast. You want to shoot for a time under 3 minutes on Arian. That kind of determines a quote-unquote fast car, but these are just not there. So not that great at track racing or racing in general, but the Nismo is a little bit better. All right, moving on to the drag builds. This one kind of surprised me, although neither of these cars is going to win any type of awards for drag racing. The Nismo runs a quarter mile at 8.8 seconds with a 0 to 60 of 1.93, while the Heritage edition runs an 8.77 quarter mile with the same 0 to 60 of 1.93. So what is happening here? Well, from what I can gather, the Heritage has a slightly faster top end, even though both cars have the same top speed that's reported on their stats at 236. So the only way to settle this is actually to sync up the videos and run these cars head to head. So here we go. And there you have it. All right, moving on to the drift builds. Both cars drift pretty well. I don't really have any complaints about either one, but the Heritage edition definitely scores higher than the Nismo. I really don't have a reason why. In fact, it really doesn't even make sense given what I was saying earlier about the turning radius of the Nismo being better. You would think that with better turning angle, you could achieve a greater drift angle and thus score more points, but after several runs on the drift event, the Heritage scores significantly higher on average. The Nismo averaged about 86,000 points, whereas the Heritage averaged 95,000 points. That's a big difference for basically no reason other than the giant wing that I put on the back of the Heritage. All right, lastly, let's talk about the off-road builds. Both cars are horrendous off-road, like really bad. But the Nismo is worse than the Heritage. It was only capable of a 156.1 on HTV2 and a 325.7 on Rumble, giving it a combined time of 521.8. That puts it at number 74 out of 79 cars that I've tested off-road. The Heritage wasn't that much better. It ran a 153.7 on HTV2 and a 317.0 on Rumble, making its combined time 510.7, which is tied for 52nd out of those same 79 cars. Both are in the bottom third of the cars I've tested, making them practically unusable for off-road events. With that said though, which car do I choose at the end of the day? Well, neither one of them is dominant over the other in all four categories, so this one is gonna come down to looks. In my opinion, the Heritage looks a little nicer and it's customizable, whereas the Nismo cannot be customized at all. And because they are very close in the racing department and the Heritage is a much better drifter and off-road car, I have to award it the winner of this comparison. The Nismo does drive better, but I think both cars are so slow that I would probably only use these cars for drifting anyways. So I'm taking the Heritage. Hey, before I go, shout out to all the Heat 5 members of the channel. If you want to see your name up here with the rest of these legends, all you have to do is click the join button below and become a Heat 5 member. By doing this, you'll be supporting the channel in ways you will not believe, and you get all kinds of sweet perks like members only streams and specific exclusive Discord channel access. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to all the Militia subs. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.